Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 25th of January 2021. I can't believe we're at the end of January. Well, almost. The end of the week will signal a new month arriving. Yes, indeed. But anyway, on with today's review. It's Shatterhand on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Not played this one before, but from the intro here, I think it looks quite cool. Let's give it a go anyway. Right, so, so graphically, we're going to look at graphics. As we do, we always look at graphics first. Maybe I should switch it up and do something different for a change, but no, I'm going to do graphics. It's predictable, but it works. So, yeah, it's quite pretty, isn't it? Do you know what this reminds me of, actually? Straight away, it reminds me of Sunsoft's Batman. Very, very similar art style, which is actually not a bad thing, because Batman was bloody cool. So, main sprite looks nice. Some really nice animations on that. Very sort of 80s. It's like they've mixed several 80s icons together, isn't it? It's like they've put the Terminator and Marty McFly and who else? Who else do you think we've got in there? But yeah, we've got the Terminator. We've got Marty McFly. Yeah, so it looks very heavily 80s influenced anyway. But it was released in '92, so yeah, I mean, we could have some 80s influences right there. The reason my shirt has turned red, by the way, is because I have just picked up a power-up that enables my power to increase a little bit, so my punches are now a bit more powerful. And that thing floating around is a satellite, which gives me extra attacks. You'll notice the three boxes in the top middle of the screen there. Well, once I've got three different scrolls, then it will give me a different ability. You can punch the scrolls to give you different ones as well, which is nice. Those things that I'm crouching down on, there you go, there's one of the scrolls. But if I punch that, it will give me a different thing. Now, if I hold my fire button down here, then it will give me this big lashy flame thing, which is quite cool. Now, the big guys do take a few more hits than a standard mob does, but that's, you know, that's to stand to reason, really, doesn't it? But yeah, it's really nice. The sprites are fairly big as well. The thing about having the main character sprite the size that he is it means that they can bring in these bigger sprites to make them a bit more imposing and actually pose a threat to you. So yes, I like the graphics. I mean, the level design's not amazing, but the animations are very good and the scrolling's very smooth, and so far there's been no screen breaks, which is also very nice. So all in all, graphically I quite like this. Yes, the level design could have been a little bit better, but you know what? It's so much like Mega Man and goodness, like Bionic Commando, that's the one I was trying to think of. It's a lot like those games mixed together, so that gets a plus anyway, because those games were very, very cool. I like this a lot. The fact that you've got a very simple control system, but then two buttons is a simple control system, really, isn't it? But they've managed to get it to work really nicely, so we will move on to controls next. So you have your standard up and down, left and right, and you have your attack button, and you have a jump button. So very, very simple, and if you want to utilize any of those, very simple. So I found that if you rapidly tap on the control pad on the attack button, you do these little jabs, and then you do these like stronger punches as well. They're like that's strong enough. I just one-shotted him. Right, so yeah, there's the scroll again, and once we get a different combination, we should get a new satellite, which will give us another different sort of ability that it's got. There's another one, so I can punch it and change it, so you can actually have three the same if you wanted to. And this is quite a cool ability, actually. This one rebounds the projectiles around the screen. Now this is actually my second attempt at this, because the first time round when I did this, for some reason the capture decided it was going to do it in like 4 times the screen size that it should have been, so I had to re-record everything. So this is kind of my second playthrough, but yeah, it's still a game I've never played before, but I've kind of played it for 10-15 minutes prior to this, but that's it. So yeah, that's the boss, by the way, that I've just absolutely cremated there. Yeah, you get end level bosses and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all around is a pretty good package of a game, isn't it? We always like these sort of games. They're good fun. It reminds me a bit, I'll tell you what the other game it reminds me of is Green Beret on the Spectrum or the arcade, depending on which system you had at the time. But I had Green Beret on the ZX Spectrum, and this is quite reminiscent of Green Beret, so that's not a bad thing either, because that game was bloody cool and bloody hard. I kind of assumed this game could be fairly tricky. I didn't get very far on my first run, so I'll see what I can get done for you guys so you can have a look at this one a bit more thoroughly. Now it does come with unlimited continues, which is a lovely thing, but when it's got unlimited continues, that always sort of screams difficult. So we'll see how we get on, and hopefully, I mean, if I do die, then I'll pick a different stage to start on and stuff, so you guys can see see what we're doing. Now these guys like to wear pink, apparently. Now you can see there it says P100. That means I need 100 coins to be able to activate that. You can tell that your strength has increased when your jacket turns red. Now you have to have 100 coins for that. Coins are actually fairly simple to get your mitts on, to be fair. Most of the bad guys drop them, and you can find them within money bags as well, which you punch continually. It's a bit like the headbutting the blocks in Super Mario Brothers and doing it that way. But yes, so you need to save your coins up, because different things give you different abilities and they all cost a different amount. The cheapest being a power-up of 100 coins, and then it's a health regeneration at 300 coins, and then an extra life, I believe, will cost you in the region of about 1,000 coins. So yeah, you want to try and save them up, because I tell you, you'll be needing these spots. You can see there's the 300 health, so if I'm going to use that, it should replenish my health bar. There we go. Very simple. You just push down on that and fire, and it will activate. And he's just punched me through the screen. But this is actually quite good fun to play, and I think that's quite important when it comes to these games. Like I've said before, if a game's not playable, you're just going to turn it off. And for the price that these games would have cost you, oh my god, the price that the game would have cost you back in the day, you would have wanted it to have been a decent game. You know, I know there's a fair few stinkers out there, and trust me, I'm going to get round to doing some stinkers. It's just the games I've been picking at the moment have been fairly good. But I know there's some stinkers out there. The Dungeon of Drax will probably come back at some point, because that's where we put all of the rubbish games in history, never to be seen of, or heard from, or played ever again. So that might be a feature that will make its triumphant return in the near future. But for the time being, we have these great games. Now, I've been playing the NES quite a bit lately, and I've really quite enjoyed it. It just brings back all those memories, just hearing the sound effects and the music and all that kind of things. Like I said, I didn't have a Sega Master System when I was growing up. I actually had a Nintendo, and I just sort of went with Nintendo for the remainder of the time. My first introduction to Sega was the Dreamcast, which I own the console of, I'm talking about. I had actually played on Mega Drives and Master Systems and stuff before, so I did have an inkling of what they were about. But they never really floated my boat, to be fair. But the Nintendo has a very, very special place in my heart, especially the NES. It's just such a cutesy little machine, and it does a bloody good job at the fun factor. Anyway, sound is really good. It's got a really good soundtrack, different music on each level, which is nice. And you've got all the sound effects as well. Again, brings atmosphere to the game, which is always nice. And the only thing for me is the difficulty of the damn game. These stages are a little bit, yeah. and you can play the levels in any order. Now I think there are 5 levels on that first screen that you could see that you could teleport into. You can't change the first level that you go into, but that is just basically your training wheels. After that you can pick whichever stage you want in whatever order you want, and good luck with that. But yes, I'm going to be hopefully having a look at another level, because quite frankly these are a little bit on the tricky side. But we'll have a look, see what we can do, show you guys a bit more of the game. Doesn't matter how short it might be. But yes, difficulty I will move on to now. It's deceptive because everything looks really, really easy, and then you get these guys, which you have to sort of, yeah. I've lost a life. Nah. Anyway, yeah, avoidance is quite hard sometimes, and the hitbox is slightly out at times, but it's not enough to make me want to downscore this too much. So it will probably irritate you, but I'm sure that I can even get past them then. So I've lost 3 health bars already just from that encounter. So it's not easy, but I suppose at the end of the day there's a challenge there, and I think you'll enjoy that. Now the other gripe I've got is that the restart points are so far apart that generally you'll be starting at the start and then running back through. But if you make it to the next portion of the level, you will start there. But it's quite a traipse to go. But again, you know, it's a challenge, and there's probably people out there that would relish in the challenge of a game like this. It just frustrates me a little bit that my health is just absolutely just dropping away. Look at it. I'm down to my last slither of health, and I'm dead. So there we go. It is difficult. So age rating, I'm going to say you're probably looking around 10 years plus, maybe 12 years plus. Depending on how good a player and how good your temperament might be, will basically determine how good you are and how your patience level is and how far you'll get in the game. But give it a try. That's all I'm going to say. It's a good platformer. It's a pretty decent game. Has it got replay value? Yes, it has. Has it got enough to keep you engaged for a long time of play? I think so. I'd actually quite like to sit down and try and finish this one. It is good. It is hard. There's a challenge there, which is always a good thing. But maybe too challenging? I don't know. I mean, that rock just came out of nowhere. And, oh my god. Right, so you can see here that I'm punching this bag here. Gives me coins, which is lovely. But I'm actually getting blasted by rocks falling from the ceiling. But, you know, that's part of your challenge, isn't it? The levels can be played in any order, like I said. Defeating all 5 will unlock the final 6th level. But good luck getting all those 5, because if the levels are anything like this, you're going to be doing them for a while. Like I said, this is probably where the frustration comes in. I've got 1 life thing left. You can't duck from those guns either. So your work's cut out for you, really, I think, in this game. I think, you know, it's all round, it's fairly good. You've got a decent main character, you've got nice animations, you've got nice scrolling, nice and smooth. Like I say, the hitboxes are okay if you're hitting them, but for some reason when they hit you, they can sometimes be able to hit you from a different place, if that makes sense. So they'll be able to hit you without trying. Anyway, that about sums up the review for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have enjoyed playing it. I will be back very soon with a brand new review. Thank you ever so much for all of your new subscriptions, and I will catch you next time. Keep it retro, and bye for now.
Incoming transmission.